Dante's Inferno. It is more formally known as Inferno by Dante Alighieri. It is an epic poem for the Divine Comedy. Inferno is one of three parts where the author, Dante, is on a grand journey to reach paradise. With each canto, Dante describes his journey with the help of Virgil, a poet who Dante admires. Together they go through the 9 circles of hell and a collection of 34 cantos. In the first few cantos, Dante goes through the first circles quickly, but once hell becomes progressively more dense, multiple cantos are centered around each consecutive circle. Canto 25 begins in media res, which is Latin for into the middle of things. To understand what is going on, we must backtrack to Canto 24. During these cantos, Dante is in the 8th circle of hell, called the Circle of Fraud, which is separated into 10 borgias, each representing a distinct type of fraud. Dante and Virgil had just entered the 7th borgia, which was designated for the thieves of hell. They are crossing a bridge, leaving the borgia of hypocrites. Once crossed, they find to see various people wrapped up by snakes and reptiles. This is the fate of the actions of the thief. Dante and Virgil meet a man by the name Vanifucci. When they speak with the man, he tells them that in his past life he had robbed a church, and also prophesies that the Florentine Whites, Dante's preferred political party, would be overthrown. This is where Canto 25 begins. Once Vanifucci is done speaking, he makes figs, a gesture done with both of his hands where the thumb is placed between the pointer and ring finger towards God. This is an obscene gesture and can be compared to the middle finger. He is then instantly punished by snakes where they wrap themselves around him and he runs off. Cacus, a centaur, appears and has snakes on his backside, while a dragon is setting his skin on fire. Virgil then tells Dante that Cacus had deserved this horrific punishment due to him attempting to steal the cattle of Hercules. Once Cacus leaves, 3 souls then approach Dante and Virgil, asking them who they are. The question never goes answered, and one of the souls calls for Cianfa. When he appears, Cianfa is a 6-legged serpent and attacks the soul who had just called for him. Both Cianfa and the man start transforming into a grotesque creature, and Dante at this point is lost for words. A snake then approaches and bites one of the souls. The soul shows no pain as he only just yawns at this action. Smoke starts surrounding both the snake and the soul. Dante then begins to describe this transformation, where the snake starts to grow human characteristics while the soul takes on the characteristics of the snake. Dante is so mesmerized by the transformation that he believes that no other poet will match his ability to describe something so grotesque. The serpent, who was a man, slithers away, while the man, who was the serpent, chases after him, calling him by his name, Buoso. The third sinner leaves unaffected. Dante made sure that his descriptions for these sinners were as vivid enough for the reader to understand, because he wanted to show the pain and grotesque nature of the 8th circle. He started off very strong with Vanifucci being wrapped up by snakes, and round his arms another, and rebound him, clinching itself together so in front, that with them he could not a motion make. The next damned soul on Dante's list would be Cacus, since he was punished for attempting to steal the cattle of Hercules. Serpents as he had all along his back, as far as where our continent begins, upon the shoulders, just behind the nape. With wings wide open was a dragon lying, as he sets fire to all that he encounters. The final descriptions are for the 2 souls who are affected by creatures. The first one is of Agnolo, being transformed with Cianfa. As I was holding raised on them my brows, behold, a serpent with 6 feet darts forth in front of one, and fastens wholly on him. Already the 2 heads had one become, when there appeared to us two figures mingled into one face, wherein the two were lost. Of the four lists were fashioned the two arms, the thighs and legs, the belly and the chest. Members became that never yet were seen. Every original aspect there was cancelled. Two, and yet none, did the perverted image appear in such a departed with slow pace. Buoso follows suit with his upcoming transformation with the serpent. He at the serpent gazed, and it at him. One through the wound, the other through the mouth, smoked violently, and the smoke commingled. Together they responded in such wise that to a fork the serpent cleft his tail, and eke the wounded drew his feet together. The legs together with the thighs themselves adhered so that in little time the juncture, no sign whatever made that was apparent. The one uprose, and down the other fell, though turning not away their impious lamps, underneath which each one his muzzle changed. Now that there's an idea of how Dante went about these descriptions, what do these actually mean in the context of hell and punishments? Well, for each sinner that Dante is faced with, it is filled with symbolism of snakes, with the illusion of the Bible, with Eve being tricked by a serpent, causing the demise of all her future offspring, filling each one of them with sin. Since these souls lived the life of sin, they now have to deal with the robbery of their bodies, their most prized possession. Whenever the epic of the Divine Comedy is referenced, what often comes to mind, artistically speaking, are the illustrations of Gustave Nury. His illustrations in the Divine Comedy go hand in hand when it comes to the imagining of hell, purgatory, and paradise. They are recognizable due to their simplistic black and white nature, but he also shows a complex realism when he portrays the people in the image. It falls in line with the artistic movement at the time, realism, where the people show realistic characteristics of form and shape, even with the otherworldly concepts present. Now, while his illustrations are fantastic, they display the dread and despair of what happens in Inferno, I decided to make my own artistic interpretation for Canto 25. My goal was to make an uneasy image meant to show the horrors of hell in the face of character Ranifucci. Here it is.